Happy Friday the 13th, everyone. I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to see if anyone can hop on today live. It is about 2:20 on Friday the 13th, like I mentioned. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Home Fridays. I am Kim Folks, Realtor with Ramsey Yates and Associates Realtors and Lifestyle Homes by Kim. If you do hop on live or you're on live, please say hello in the comments. I know a lot of people, like I mentioned before, watch these videos on the replay. Please feel free to share any of my videos. I've done my buyer bootcamp series last month. This month of March is a seller bootcamp series. They'll all be found on my page and they are numbered. Hi Madison, thank you for joining me. This is going to be, like I said, this month, the seller boot camp. If you need information on buyer boot camp, please look back on my page and they are numbered in the video series. You can follow along. Hopefully that will give people some helpful information. But this week, like I said, I'm going to be going through my seller boot camp and I am excited for all boot campers that are ready to tackle this week's topic of home staging. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. So if you're wondering how to figure out which rooms even need staging, maybe you don't know which rooms in your home need staging, you need some help with that, or you just want my insider secrets that are total game changers when it comes to making your house shine both online and in person. If that's the case, you're in the right place today. Like I said, please feel free to share this video with anybody you know that might be considering selling their home in the near future, or anybody on your Facebook page. If you want to just share, you think this might be some helpful information for some of your friends, please feel free to share. So every week this month, like I mentioned before, I'm going to be diving into steps you can take to get your home ready for the market. So if you want to join your fellow boot campers who want to make the most money on the sale of their home, and who doesn't, everybody wants to make the most money that they can, make sure you have your notifications turned on. I've talked about how to do that in that right hand corner there. You've got to be following this page. Make sure you've turned those notifications on so you'll know when I'm going live each week. So this, of course, like I said, is week 2 in the seller series. And today I'm going to be covering my home staging do's. So just to get started, number 1 is to give every room in your house a purpose. So that means no empty rooms in your home before you put it on the market. Did you know, you might not have known, that this is the number 1 reason that buyers, they're turned off by empty rooms. That's the number 1 thing they're turned off by in homes. And I know that might sound crazy, but that's why it's the number 1 thing on my list, my staging list, because it's the number 1 thing buyers don't like. One of the most important things to keep in mind when you're preparing your home for sale is that buyers that are looking at your home, they're not just buying a house, they are buying a lifestyle. I mention that all the time. It really is true. They are not just buying a home, they're buying a lifestyle. You want to make that home work for their lifestyle or for, future buyers' lifestyles. You want to make it work and look the best you can to have it in the best light, to give you the most options on buyers. And the number 1 thing is that many buyers have a hard time using their imagination. A lot of people can't see and envision what a space is going to look like, and everybody has that ability. So if you've got an empty room in your house, they're going to overlook that space and what it could be used for that might be the best purpose for it if it's left empty. If you're just using it for a storage room, that's what a lot of people are going to see it. They're going to see it as a storage room, and that's not giving their home the most value. So it might be as simple, if you have like a loft space in your home that's empty, it might be as simple as making that into a home office where you could just add a small desk, a colorful rug, a chair, a bookshelf. Now you've got a 3-bedroom home with an office. You could also do this, say with a spare bedroom. Say you've got a 3-bedroom home and one of them is just a junk room. Like I said, you could turn that into a small home office very simply, very inexpensively, and that way people can see it in its best light. So one thing you want to do is think back to when you actually bought your home. Once upon a time, your home was the ideal home for you. If you do have empty rooms in your house, what did you envision using that space for originally? I know sometimes we don't ever get around to doing the things we want to do in our home because it takes time and money. Maybe you never got around to it. What did you envision that room for? And if you were going to stay in that house, what would you use? What would be the perfect use for that room? Think about those things when you are making a purpose for those empty rooms. My number 2 home staging must do is that neutrals rule. when you're selling your home, I know you probably heard this before, neutrals are where it's at. That's the best thing. You see people, flippers do homes and builders do spec homes. What do they have in there? They have neutral colors, and there's a reason for that. It might sound really basic and a basic idea, but it is key. And if you're not sure exactly what parts of your home need to be neutralized, I'm going to give you a few simple tips on it. So think about replacing all the bright colors and patterns in your house with more neutral tones. And that can be anything from the walls to the curtains in your home. If you still have, say, floral valances hanging up that you put up in the early 2000s when you moved in your house, now is the time to take those down and put those away. You may still love them, and that's fine, that's great, but people aren't going to be drawn to specific styles, and you want to appeal to majority of people. So something as simple as swapping out curtains for something more neutral can make a huge difference, not only how your house looks online, but how it looks in person when people show up. But again, it's going to make a difference in how it looks online in photos, and you need to get the most bang for your photos too, to get people to make appointments and come see your home. So that goes also for linens in your home. So you may want to stop at Target and get some white towels. You can roll them up, stuff them into a basket on your bathroom floor or your bathroom counter. Swap out your faded kitchen towels for bright white. I know that might not sound very practical, but they're really going to look good for photos and for showing. So it may not be the most practical thing for living in a home, but when you're trying to get it sold, it is going to work better, like I said, for photos and for showings. Add neutral bedding to your kids' room. If you have small children, a lot of people have small kids in their rooms. The kids' rooms are themed out. Maybe they're decked out in frozen everything. Anna and Elsa can come back out after you have an accepted offer on your house or once you move into that new home. So you might want to take those down, do some just neutral things in their bedrooms as well, just to make it calmer and more neutral, and like I said, appeal to more people. And my number 3 tip for our home staging must do is what I like to call model home magic. So if you have never been in a model home before and you've just never seen one, you've never toured one, this is your homework. Before you put your house on the market, go and tour one of those homes. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scale back on what you keep out in your home on a regular basis, and instead think of it more like a model home. And again, I know it's hard living in a home and trying to sell it, but it's going to be key to getting that home sold quicker. So that's going to include removing any of the appliances, like large appliances on your countertops in your kitchen, organizing the shoes that are flowing out and overflowing out of the mudroom closet, your overcrowded pantry, getting that organized. Your bathroom counter might be covered in makeup and skincare and all that type of stuff. What do you do? You need to ask yourself a question: would this be out in a model home? If I walked into a model home and I looked at the table, the countertops in the bathroom, the floor, those types of things, would I see these things in a model home? If the answer is no, go ahead and pack those things up. The good thing about packing them up now is you don't have to pack them up later. You get ready to get that stuff moved into your new home, go ahead and declutter all that stuff, pack it up in boxes, and get ready to move it to your new home. Your furniture layout also comes into play here. So when you're touring a model home, you're going to notice that furniture is arranged in more of a conversational setting, like welcoming conversational layouts. They don't have their beds in the bedrooms pushed up against the wall, where the comforters just shoved up against the wall. They don't have the couches shoved up against walls like that, and a random recliner just looking at the TV like we often do in our own homes, sitting right there in front of the TV. So look at your current furniture layout in your living room and move things around if you need to. And maybe that means getting rid of that recliner and storing it in your basement, although I do want to mention that you do want to somewhat stage your basement too. If it's an unfinished basement, it's used for storage. Keep that nice and neat as well and organized. But you may need to move a few pieces out to make it look more conversational and welcoming and comfortable in that room. So like I said, remember, the more you prepare your home for sale, the better results you're going to have, and that means less showings and more offers. And again, living in a home and selling a home at the same time is tough, so we want to get it under contract as quick as possible and not have to have as many showings. And if you do these things, it will help you. Now, I like to mention As I mentioned, I think last week, that I can help you with these. If you still have a hard time with staging and you're thinking about selling your home, I can help you with the staging of it. I'm actually going to stage a new listing next week for one of my sellers. Using the things they have, I may bring a few things of my own because I do stage vacant properties some. I have an inventory that I use for my vacant properties that are just, light staging, I like to call it. It's not furniture and that type of stuff, but it's just light staging items. Whatever I have available, I'm happy to also bring and mix in with yours if that helps. But you oftentimes can take what you have in your home, just reorganize it, and make a big difference in the way it looks. I think I mentioned last week, I am doing my own staging certification. I'm doing classes on that now, so I will soon be certified in staging, and I am always happy to help my sellers come out and repurpose what they have and redo that. So all you have to do is ask on that. I'm happy to get to help. So anyway, before I go, I did want to let you know, and I mentioned this again last week too, my free guide that I designed that walks you through what I talked about today and what I talked about last week, and it's got a list of questions to ask your realtor. It's got a checklist for getting started with prepping your home for sale, and more than that, it's a free home seller bootcamp e-guide. If you would like a copy, all you have to do is comment on this video or send me a private message. I'll get one of those right over to you. So I do thank you for joining today, whether you joined me live or whether you watch this on the replay. I hope it has been some helpful information for you on the selling process. Like I said, you can go back through the videos on my page and watch them in order if you've missed any of them on the buying process, the selling process, or anything else I've talked about. They'll all be available on my page, so feel free to go back through those and watch any of them that might help you or share them with someone you know. Next week, I'm going to be diving into cleaning and pre-packing before selling. So please join me next week. And again, like I said, make sure you've got your notifications turned on so you know when I'm going live. I've decided to quit trying to nail down an exact time on Fridays. It will be Friday. Sometimes I may not know the time, but if you have your notifications on, you'll get that notification so you can join in. And again, you can always watch it on the replay. So I hope everyone has a great weekend out there. Please let me know, as always, if I can ever help in any way in the buying and selling process. If you just have questions that you need answered, feel free to message or give me a call or email me. Anyway, have a great weekend, y'all. Thanks for joining me today. See you soon.